they're able to rely on each other more. They know that they can trust each other when it comes to the fights, and it comes to, making sure that everyone's staying protected.
Yeah, I'm Jason. I'm from ScreenFish, and I'm very excited to meet the cast for Fern. Um, I'd love to just jump right into this, actually. So, again, nice to meet all of you. I've loved Fern since season one. It's been a really great change from the traditional animes where it's a lot of focus and fighting and violence. It's more slice of life. But I'd love to know, as season two has begun and the party continues traveling, what excited you most about returning to these characters and continuing their journey?
Oh man, it's hard to answer because there's so much of Freeren's emotional journey that I was really excited to see as she would continue to learn and grow and process human emotions. But if I'm being honest, the thing I was most excited for was Frieren being silly. There's so many good moments of her being sleepy or throwing a tantrum. The tantrum scene was just absolutely one of my favorites. And I think that's what's so amazing about the character of Frieren is she is so complex. She has this depth and maturity, and yet she's also silly and sleepy and loves to find little trinkets and collect things and maybe throw a tantrum. So that just seeing the range of Frieren makes me so excited.
So season one ended off with Fern uh, completing the mage exam and getting her certification and stuff. And so it has been really interesting in season two to just kind of see her like wave around that scroll of like, I'm important. Um, but it's interesting to watch her grow more confident in her magic, but also in herself and with her comrades.
I know season one ended, with Stark. He wasn't part of the mage exam because he's not a mage. But it was funny to see like his little interaction with Verbal, where he kind of just takes him, and Fern's just like, yeah, just take him. And then coming into season two, we see Verbal again, and then we see like, hey, Stark and Verbal actually hit it off and they became friends. So that was really cool to see. I'm just excited to see the continued growth of him as a character, of Shark as a character, just because he went from being this, individual who didn't have any confidence in himself. He didn't have any confidence in his ability, but everyone else in the party did. I'm excited to see him kind of step into his own. And we've had a chance to see that a little bit in season two already. So I'm just excited to see it even more.
Amazing, great, yeah. This kind of led it to my next question. At this point in the story, it's pretty clear this trio feels more like a kind of like a family more than a adventuring party. But how would you describe their dynamic now, especially compared to last season?
I think that they're a little bit more comfortable with each other. Whenever they started off on this journey, obviously Freer and Fern together, Stark comes along, and I think Fern was a little skeptical at first, like, do we really need him? Then we had Zine join for a little bit, and he kind of completed the I guess the party with him being like the healer, and then he leaves, so it's back down to the trio. And at least for me in season two, I've seen them grow as characters, and again, it just feels like they feel more comfortable with each other. They're able to rely on each other more. They know that they can trust each other when it comes to the fights, and it comes to making sure that everyone's staying protected, and everyone's doing their best. I think we've seen Fern want a little more of what is it? Recognition, not recognition, but like it's like head pats and or like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So we've seen a little bit more of that. And I just think that they're starting to understand each other's quirks a little bit more as well. So that's what I've seen personally. But if you guys have seen anything different, please feel free.
Yeah, I one of my favorite parts was when Frieren was advising Fern and Stark on their date. I just think that is so funny because, in season one, Frieren knowing anything about a date is pretty comical. In season two, though, she really starts to show how much she's paid attention to the characters, and especially Fern, being sort of this almost guardian character and figure in Fern's life, knowing little details about what Fern might like. And I also just love the scene where Frieren just like slaps closed a grimoire and says, "Well, Fern," and then goes off on this diatribe of something. It's amazing to see how she's playing a role and learning more about each of, the party members. I think is really cool because it shows growth in Frieren's character.
Amazing. Oh, great. And I love that episode, by the way. I thought it was very sweet. And especially the dynamic between Fern and Fern.
It's cute.
Yeah, a little mother-daughter kind of dynamic. But so, season two, when this show, first came out and the trailers were out, people were not looking forward. I guess looking forward to it was the word at first. Obviously, very surprising, amazing show. Focuses more on like quiet everyday moments rather than like huge battles or dramatic conflicts. What do you guys think? Why do you think the style like resonates so strongly with audiences that people are so hyped up about it now, and it's like considered like anime of the year and everyone's looking forward to it?
I feel like there's so many aspects of the show that are so well done. I think, Studio Madhouse absolutely killed it with the animation. It is beautiful. Evan Call and the soundtrack just puts you on this journey immediately when you hear it. But I think ultimately why people love the show is the story and the characters. It's done so well in this beautiful package, but at the heart of it are characters that are intensely relatable in different ways. And each of the characters sort of learns and grows, through their interactions with another character. And when people watch it, I feel like they can relate to that, or they see themselves in different aspects of the characters. And I think that's part of what makes the show so beautiful.
If your character had like a day off from this adventure, how do you think they would spend it?
Frieren doesn't need just one day. She needs at least like 5 to 10 years off, I think would be an appropriate amount of time for her. And she'd be reading some grimoires and taking some big, long naps.
I think Fern would be stopping by a bakery for sure. She would buy way too much food and go back to her room and eat it and be alone and have a nice chill time with her and her pastries.
I feel like Stark would probably be sharpening his axe or doing something that had to do with like physical, like, working out, doing something, and then accidentally bothering Fern and then getting an earful because he bothered her.
She's like in her room eating pastries, and he's like, "Hey,
yeah,
I'm busy. I'm busy eating."
I know. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thanks so much for your time. It was really great meeting all of you. I'm super excited for the rest of season two. And I gotta say, the English dub is amazing. You guys have done such a good job. I prefer watching it in the English dub, which is very rare for an anime. And I think viewers have preferred it that way as well, actually. So, but thanks so much for your time.
Like